Now we're going to talk about our primary resonators. We talked about what a resonator is before, but what is a primary resonator? Well, that's any resonator that enhances your original sound, but has an outlet for your sound to go out. So what does that mean? Well, for example, the pharynx. The pharynx is right here in the back of your throat, this very flexible muscle. And it starts above your vocal folds, and then the sound that is enhanced in the pharynx has a way out through the mouth or through the nose, so that's why it's considered a primary resonator. The pharynx's main job is to warm the air you breathe in, so it gets very close to the tongue. When we sing, however, we usually want to open our pharynx more to give it more activity and more resonance. When you try to breathe in with an open throat, your pharynx goes back and you should feel cold air come in. That's because the pharynx is stopping doing that job it normally does, warming our air, and starting to do the job we want it to do, which is make our voices more resonant. The oral cavity is the second resonator we're going to talk about. And you can see it's a primary resonator because it still has that hole out. Even if it's the same hole out as the pharynx, it still is what makes it a primary resonator. The oral cavity, like the pharynx, is a very flexible cavity, and that's what gives our voices so much distinction. We can change and manipulate so much to create vowels, to create loud and soft sounds, and that's what the oral cavity and the pharynx help us to do. We could open our mouth, we can move our tongue, and all these things change and enhance or inhibit what our mouths can resonate. Our third primary resonator is our larynx. Like the other three, it has a way out, so it's considered primary, and it's very flexible too. You can move it up and down. If you try to make it dance, you can make your Adam's apple move up and down. Recent research shows that the larynx helps contribute to what's called the singer's formant. The singer's formant is a distinct place where harmonies are enhanced that aren't normally enhanced in other instruments. So that's why certain voices can even cut over orchestras or large sounds when they're trained correctly. A fourth resonator is our nasal cavity. Again, it's primary because it has a way for the sound to go out. This one, however, is much different than the other ones because it's not flexible. There's no way you can open or close your nasal cavity like you can open and close and change the shape of your oral cavity or of your pharynx. For this reason, when we look at what's called the vocal tract, we include all of the primary resonators except the nasal cavity. That's because these are the three resonators that start where the vocal folds start and go all the way to the mouth, and the resonators that we can manipulate the most to change our sound. This is the body of our instrument, and this is what we're going to use to change and manipulate and open to get the best sound that we can out. So when we talk about primary resonators in our vocal instrument, the vocal tract is the key to everything. When you're ready, we'll meet in the next lecture.